So I've been at the Hive since August 2021. It started about July when it opened originally. I think NATTER started about September, October. I didn't know Julie and Lynn. I've just met them through the Knit and Natter.
They're always cooking nice meals, aren't they, for everybody, and cakes and yummy.
Yeah. Well, it was put to us, I think, it was Chantal when I started, the manager, and she just said she'd like to do this Knit and Natter. Well, I knit, and my friend Jane came with me at the time, so she nattered. We have knitted for like groups, for hospitals. We've done teddies and hearts, and then we've done for the elderly. We did hats, scarves and gloves at Christmas and things like that.
Well, where I live, it's like I'm close to the East Lancs, I'm close to the shopping centre, what's left of it. I'm close to the schools. The Hive is only 5 minutes up the road, so it's really handy where I live. I've always been here. Yeah, I love it. 30 odd years been here. 2020, my husband said, let's move, but I couldn't bear it. I said, no, I don't want all the messing about, so we had an extension and stayed here.
I was actually born in Holland. My dad was in the army and they were posted to Holland, and I was born while they lived in Holland, and so was my brother. And then we lived there for a few years, and then we moved from there to Tripoli, and we lived in Tripoli for 5 years. So I actually came to live in Swinton when I was about 10 and a half, 11. We came from Tripoli and it was winter, and we lived in a TA unit house, and it snowed so thick and cold, and I hated it.
I'd move tomorrow. Not because I don't like Swinton. I do. I've been born and bred in Swinton, but I would like to move. But I'd like to move to Wales. But my husband won't move.
I'd like more shops in Swinton. I'd like the precinct to be picked up and given a good shake, and I like more shops on the precinct, and I'd like to be able to get a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Would you think you'd be volunteering? Would you think you'd be doing this? You wouldn't really know. I don't think it had entered my head when I was younger.
I think I've always been a people's person, I wanted to be a nurse and couldn't, but ran a pub, did caring, homeless shelter, and now I'm at Knit and Natter.
I always felt that I would like to do a lot more than I have done, but I never knew exactly what I wanted to do. Like you say about the children not knowing what they want to do. Every job I've had, I've said, still looking for that job. I think I was happiest when the kids were little and I was minding them and child minding, and I used to go loads of places with them when they were little, and I was my own boss.
The reason originally going to the Hive, my brother died suddenly in the December, and so it was the following August, so it was a big step to go, but that big step is now nothing.
It's good, because I do suffer a lot with depression. It gets me out of bed on a Tuesday, and I look forward to it, and it is important, I think, to get out of your own environment and to meet other people and talking to other people. You think sometimes you're the only one, but when you start talking to people, you're not the only one. There's other people suffering as well. I like to have structure, so I know that every Tuesday that's what I do. I don't like something coming in my way and going, Lynn, will you do this tomorrow, or...
I don't like waking up in the morning and not knowing what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly.
Looking back now, I know they say routine is good. It's been good for me, but I think later in life it probably affects you. If things change and I'm not expecting it, it's like the sudden loss of my brother. That's what did it. So I think that's where a routine does damage in a way.
I've gone through a lot in my life, so I do, and it makes you that much stronger each time. But now Like you build that wall, but I think that wall's beginning, it's dropped quite a lot, that wall.
I wouldn't think it, but I don't really have a lot of confidence. And in there, I just feel you don't need any. Yeah. I think people probably see me as I don't see me.
I think because my gran brought me up, so I've had to survive. And I've always been a strong, hard person. I was one that fight the battles.
The veterans come in every other Tuesday. Didn't know any of them, but because I'm there every time they're in, got to know them. They're a nice group of chaps. So that's changed. Yeah, we serve them. They enjoy their meals and coming in, so it's nice for us.
When I was 18, I got my call-up papers. I joined the Royal Air Force, much to my father's disgust.
I was called up in 1958-59. Went, did my 10 weeks basic, then they shipped us off of Hong Kong.
So I was born in a place called Ballytracy in County Wexford, and very, very rural, and I joined the army then. It was about 1959.
Now we knew the war was over because we were headquarters. That was my first introduction to peacetime. But I had nowhere to go. My family had vanished in front of my face. So I decided there and then I'd go on the sideline again.
And I went into the squadron office one day, and my troop sergeant was there, and he said, "Daly," he said. I said, "Yes, Sarge." "You're a jammy, you know." I said, "What have we done?" He said, "You're going to Singapore?" So I thought, yahoo, you know. 2.5 years in Singapore in the 60s. People didn't go on holiday there then.
I got posted to Africa, West Africa, eventually. That was a real life. And I grew very fond of one particular chap called Corporal Kenneth Gazekpo. And we became, the whole thing, we became blood brothers. I've still got the scar on my hand.
It was the first day in the army. The sergeant major got us all on the parade ground, and he went down each person in the rank and he said, "And what's your name?" I said, "Basson." He said, "And what did you do in Civvy Street, Basson?" I said, "I was a commercial artist." He went, put his face quite close to mine, and he said, "Well, Basson, remember this," he says, "you can't kill the enemy with a paintbrush, only tittle them to death."
I do remember a few years ago, when I first started having proper treatment for depression, I spoke to a counsellor. It was coming out of the army, and I said, "Well, it was 40 years ago." But no, like we recognise now, your army days, it's with me still. It really is.
It's a big change coming back into Civvy Street and trying to go back to where you were before, because you were a changed person. I also had ambitions perhaps to become a missionary.
After 9 years of a fairly formal and structured life, coming into an office where people are shouting at each other and all the rest of it is definitely a bit strange.
Depression did actually set in, and I had to have some medication for probably nearly 12 months to get over it. I had to fight.
I've known since it has happened to ex-servicemen coming out now. When I go to the Hive, the old stories come back.
We're there to encourage each other. I mean, one of the group members the other day told us he'd lost his wife and she'd had a long illness. So you can give him words of comfort and, you know, touch his arm and things like that. And that's what we're there for, to help one another.
I'm sure some of the men the people we go to the Hive, have had a far different experience, and it will probably haunt you for the rest of your life, because war is not a normal part of anything. I don't believe that at all. If you put it bluntly, try to kill other people or they're trying to kill you, it must be absolutely dreadful. It must be terrifying. So God knows what traumas these people are living through.
Marion and these girls from the Hive came, and we had a smashing meal on the lawn. And we just sat and talked. Smashing, easy.
People who are healthy and have an ambition to help other people, they are the salt of the earth.